Let's take you overseas now. New video showing Iranian speedboats and drones trailing and harassing U.S. warships in the Persian Gulf. This new footage appears to show them threatening to open fire on an American helicopter if it flew into Iranian airspace. This comes during rising maritime tensions between Washington and Tehran. Earlier this month, the U.S. military said it was considering putting armed guards on commercial ships in the area in response to a spike in Iran seizing and harassing boats. For more now, we're joined by Victoria Coates, the Vice President of the Heritage Foundation and former Deputy National Security Advisor for Middle Eastern and North African Affairs during the Trump administration. Victoria, so good to have you with us. Can you just first get us up to speed on what this incident indicates when it comes to Iranian-American tensions and how concerned we should be about it?
Well, good morning, Marky. Good to be with you. Basically, this is business as usual for the regime in Tehran, which has used this kind of terrorist tactics for really the 40 years of its existence to project its power in the Arabian Gulf. And bear in mind, this is one of the key shipping routes for global energy. The United States is one of the security guarantors for the passage of this shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, which is sort of an interesting question because we don't really need the oil anymore that's coming out of the Gulf, but we do provide this security to create stability in global markets. And that's what the Iranians are so irresponsibly trying to upset here.
And, you bring up the Strait of Hormuz. I understand it's hugely important to the world economy. I think a fifth of the world's oil travels through this area. How should the United States respond to this kind of aggression?
We have to be much firmer. The problem here is the Biden administration for the last 2.5 years has been begging the Iranians to get back into some sort of version of the Obama-era nuclear deal. And so they've had these ongoing sort of third-party negotiations in Vienna, and the Iranians are just stringing them along. And meanwhile, escalating this kind of very, very dangerous behavior. And I've heard lots of complaints out of our partners and allies in the Gulf that if they did any such thing, the United States would launch an action against them. But because their administration is trying to play nice with the Iranians on the diplomatic front, they're turning a blind eye to this. But the problem they face is, eventually you can't. This is beyond a joke to have these drones and small vessels swarming an American warship, which is only there to try to protect against the Iranians.
Right.
So it's an unfortunate situation.
آنچه در مورد ما میگویند